Guys, today we are back on the 2290 project. My buddy Trevin's helping me today, and we are going to try to get this ready to drive it home as much as we can today. We're going to get it to the point where with a set of batteries and maybe a couple things, we'll be able to drive it home. We won't have the exhaust done today. We don't have any batteries. We got to go get a set of batteries, but we're going to get everything else done that we can do today. So, Trevin's working on prepping the oil pan surfaces. The cast iron pan did not fit. If the front axle casting wasn't there, it would work because I have the proper pickup for that pan. There's not room where the front axle casting is to get the cast iron pan up there straight because you have to go forward and there's not room to tip the back up in.
Got the stamp pan though.
We got the stamp pan. It's as good as it's going to be. Eventually we may get the right pan if we find that this one leaks. But it might just leak because these pans tend to do that. I am changing the transmission filters. They're really easy to get out. It's a cover, a big finger nut essentially with a spring on it. And you pull the one out and it kind of pukes the other one out too, which is nice. And you reach in and grab them.
With some ham salad.
Yes. There's a little bit of ham salad going on here, which is probably parts of the parking gear pawl. There's shine in the oil on my hands and grit. Some of the grit is probably just rust from, there was a little water in the bottom of there. Something about sitting nose down will do that. But that's kind of gross. So I'm going to clean that out, put the new filters in, put the cover on, and pretend I didn't see that. And we'll carry on. Alright guys, so I'm back again today. Last night we got the oil pan on, transmission filters changed, and the little half moon shaped piece for the oil pan in there as well. Today I got the engine oil in, transmission oil is back on the stick. I got to let it settle down a little more and see where it's going to be. And I got the coolant topped off, but again I'll have to let that settle in here. And we'll have to check all those things after we get it running because it has new oil filters on it. It has new hydraulic filters in it. And the coolant sometimes just takes some time to cycle down through all the things. Getting the tires aired up. I've got a fitting to put on the steering line here. Because the way that sits, it puts that line way back this way. So I'm going to throw this 90 on there. Like that. To bring the line more up this way. So I can have a little more line to get it out away from this manifold here. The plan is to have it more down here underneath this guard and then come up to there. Because right here, that will melt right through that line. And this isn't ideal either because those are supposed to run inside the frame rail here and then up. But we're going to do the best we can do there with the lines that we've got. Went and got that at the auto parts store yesterday. So I'll put that on. And I've got to put a couple things back on the oil pan. So I don't have quite all the bolts in it, but I have almost all of them. We were just trying to get it up there before the silicone got dry last night. I've got to put this like little relay box back up under there, and the little brace for the breather, I have to take those bolts out, put that back up. Another thing I got to figure out, I can't get in the cab anymore. The cab won't open, because I'd like to get in there and clean all the dirt out. And oh, that's got a Case IH seat in it. Like everything else in there is original. I'd like to get in there, clean the windows, clean the interior out a little bit, at least with the shop vac, so there's not dust and dirt blowing around. I'm not sure we're going to get this window put back in before we bring it home. So it'd be nice for the fresh breeze to not stir up all of that. Probably ought to try to straighten this step out. I'm not sure the best way to do that yet. But yeah, it's running the rack, and I can see inside here the little handle is moving. I don't know if it's just not going back far enough. So I might be opening the back window, because it's already open a little bit and crawling in that way to yank on this from the inside. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't locked the other day, so it shouldn't be locked now. Unless the guy came down and locked it, but I don't know why you would lock it, because it's right there. You can open it. But when I move the handle, it's not moving this. So I might just have to smack something there with a screwdriver or a hammer or both. I don't know. But that's where we're at. The other thing we got to work on, which I don't think I have enough stuff to do today, is exhaust. So, previous owner stopped by to pay a visit, because he lives just down the road here and saw I was up here working. And he brought the window and the window seal for that window up. He had it in his barn from when they tried to pull this up out of the weeds, and the window was sitting there from the impact. And so he brought that back up. So that won't be a today thing, because I don't have the string and soap and stuff to put that in with. But we will then attempt to put that window in before we drive it home, because that'll be really nice. I couldn't remember if we had it at home and we'd already grabbed it from him, or if he brought it, you know, if we still had to get it from him. And he says he has a manual down there too, which would be cool to have. So I got that little relay cluster there. I'm not sure what all that does. There's a solenoid and some other wiry things that aren't hooked up. We're going to pretend those aren't there until we have a problem. So that's how that goes. Got this guy in there. I don't remember which way it goes, whether it goes this way to this bolt or this way to those two. I don't know, but it's there. We have a slight drip here. Like a very slight drip. I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. Another neat feature on these tractors, our 1270 actually has one of these boxes swapped onto it, come to think of it. Which is, it isn't supposed to have. So the 1270s and all the other 70 series that are two-wheel drive, battery box goes there under the cab, which is not a very good place for them. Because the starter's over here, you got to run more cable to get there, and they're a pain to slide out from under the cab, and if they get rusty, they don't want to come out. You have to pull a little trim piece off that goes right there. It's just a nightmare. This, they're right there, the starter's right there, the cables are short, you run your small, you know, your key wire down to the starter, but you don't have to run your big wire from one side of the tractor to the other. And I didn't realize this last night, I want to swing this out of the way, say to work on the hydraulic filters that I was doing last night. You pull this pin, in this case the bungee cord, the box will just swing out of the way. It's on a hinge. But that was hard to see, and the sun was fading. I'll actually show you that, because it's really neat the way they did that. It's far better design than the other one. Now this one is kind of rusty. It'll get cleaned up when it gets home, and we'll paint it. But yeah, that's how that works. That's pretty slick, isn't it? So you can put the batteries in out here, and then swing it closed, which is a great design. I love that. That was one of the simplifications they did from the 70 series to the 90 series, as well as the whole cowling not being under the cab thing, and you have a flat firewall, which is super easy to work on, because you can get to like the back two cylinders of the engine, not like the cab tractors from the 70 series, that the cowling sticks out to here, and you really can't get to anything underneath there. enough on that rant. Next step is going to be tightening up those bolts. So this is what I meant by doubling up the wrench. So I put the 3/4 on there. I've got a long 7/8 here. If you smash your knuckles, I'm not responsible. But it works pretty good. And then you can do that for loosening too. If you're a mechanic, you probably already know this, but if not, there you go. Super handy, got me out of a bunch of pinches, especially when I don't have like a pipe or something to put over this. If you've got one wrench, you probably got two. And usually I like to put a bigger one on than the one I have there. But it all depends on what you have. Alright guys, so here's where we got to tonight. I got all the fluids topped off, other than fuel. I got to add some more fuel to it. Got this frame rail back on, got that fitting added to the power steering lines, got them rerouted so they're up and out of the way of the ground, and they'll clear the exhaust manifold as well and not get hot. Next thing, I got all the tires inflated and got it pretty close to being able to run. What I did not get figured out is I did get in the cab, tore the door latch apart, thought I had it figured out, closed it, proceeded to get myself stuck in the cab, had to take the door latch back apart. And basically what I've concluded is this door's been kinked before, you can see that there. And this cab's had a bad injury before too, right there. So, I'm not sure what happened, but it's making the door not fit very nice, so it's actually binding the latch towards the top. So for the ride home, it may just get the door taken off because I don't have air conditioning. So it's going to be really hot on the way home. So I might just take the door off and we won't worry about putting that window in until we get home then. And I went to the shop vac the cab out, and my brother's shop vac that I brought will turn on for like 2 seconds and then turn off. I haven't figured out its problem, so I decided to call it a night because it's getting kind of dark and it's going to be hard to clean windows when you can't see through them anyway because it's dark. That mirror may be coming off because I've only ran into it every time I get in the tractor. So that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I think we can get this on the road with one more day. Thanks for watching.